I've been living in Chicago for almost 2 years, but maybe it's time to switch it up after another cold winter. I mean, I'm from Florida. Anything not in Florida is cold. And crazy apartment prices, the lack of apartments in Chicago. If you look anywhere on social media or on the news, it's all over. So I was thinking, what if I tried somewhere different completely and with warm weather? So I spent the week in San Diego touring apartments and getting a feel for if I could actually live there. Like, do I like the vibe? Do I like the place? Can I see myself in San Diego? And over the week, I looked at a bunch of different areas in San Diego. I didn't really know which area I wanted to be in. It's a city I really haven't explored much. So I wanted to look everywhere and see where I liked. So apartment 1 was in the Convoy district. There was definitely things I liked about the first apartment. The finishes were nice, the apartment was spacious, there was a ton of storage, but I didn't like that it wasn't walkable, like at all, and that the closet was in the bathroom. So then apartment 2 was the North Park. North Park was definitely an area I was curious about. I heard a lot about it and that people love the area. The apartment was fine. I wasn't sold on the area. I wasn't sold on the finishes. I didn't really love the layout. I didn't love the view. I didn't find it as walkable as people said North Park was. I kind of felt like it gave me Wicker Park vibes a little bit, if you've ever been to Chicago, but like old Wicker Park, not built up the same way. And the last spot of day 1 was in Mission Valley. I loved the building. I loved the finishes. It felt more like a resort than an apartment building. And the amenities were incredible. There was a huge pool area. There was an outdoor part to the gym. The unit was spacious. It was probably one of my favorite layouts I saw of the whole week. The kitchen was green, but I interestingly really liked it. I kind of just liked the vibe of it. But the biggest downside was it wasn't walkable. There was a shopping center, but they told me it would take like a 20-minute walk along the highway, which I didn't really love. And my area I'm in Chicago right now is so walkable to basically anything. As much as I loved Unit 3, I kind of put it on the back burner. And I didn't really love anything from day 1, and I wasn't sure that I could see myself in San Diego. So the first spot on the tour in day 2 was in Golden Hills. I think it's a bit more of a residential area. I liked the bedroom. It was really spacious. I could fit my dresser no problem. The living room was spacious. The whole apartment was quite big. Probably the best price I saw. I liked the blue backsplash to the kitchen. I liked the unit, but I don't think there was any amenities since it was a smaller building. The area wasn't super walkable. So the 5th place was in Hillcrest. It was by far the most walkable place I saw so far. apartment was a few blocks from Whole Foods, and I think that was the nicest Whole Foods I've ever seen in my life. It was spotless. Everything was lined on the shelves. All the produce looked beautiful. So that was a big perk since produce in Chicago has not been great. There was a co-working lounge. There was a pool. I was told it's a few minute walk to a farmer's market. And I love farmers markets, so that was another pro. That was probably the best unit I've seen so far. The next unit was kind of outside the city. This unit was kind of in the middle of nowhere. The unit was spacious, the price was good. I didn't like that the garbage wasn't on every floor and you literally had to go down to in the garage to throw out your garbage. I just wasn't a fan of that. And also going into the garage as a girl is a little bit creepy, especially if you're throwing out your garbage at night. And I didn't really like the area. It definitely wasn't walkable. So on to day 3. The first place I looked at was quite expensive, more than what I'm paying in Chicago, but I totally get it because it's California. I liked the blue cabinets. I didn't end up seeing any of the amenities, so I can't speak on that. I think the area was walkable. It was like on the edge of Bankers Hill and Hillcrest, I want to say. Kind of like in between the two, which I've been told Bankers Hill is another great area to look at and live in. So the next place was in Little Italy. From what I've been told, Little Italy and downtown are the two areas that probably most closely resemble where I am in Chicago, which is in West Loop. There, they have luxury high-rises, so you get the views, you get the better walkability. Definitely what I'm looking for in my next spot. So the place in Little Italy, I really liked the building, I liked the amenities. They only had a studio left for me to see. For what it was quite a high price. There was like a little nook at the front that was considered the bedroom, and then the living room would be facing the window. While the finishes were nice, there was almost no closet space, and I'm a girl, I have quite a big closet. The kitchen was tiny. I was trying to figure out where to fit all my furniture. Even though I don't have a ton of furniture, going from a one bed or a bigger one bed to a studio is still a big difference. So as much as I liked it, I just wasn't sure. I'm in a group the next 2 days together. Since day 4 and day 5, I only saw one unit each day. Since the buildings were still under construction and hard hat tours, they were only starting to open for tours. So it was hard to book the last 2, but those were maybe the 2 I was most excited about. So the first one was in Bankers Hill. I thought for prices, I liked the building, I liked the units, but I felt like for the price, the finishes should have been a lot better. I felt like the finishes were lower quality, considering it was like over $4,000 per unit, even in like the mid-4s. I thought it was quite extreme. Like I said, I know it's California, but compared to other places, I felt like it was almost overpriced. And I would take a lower floor, so I wouldn't get as good of a view. It would still be more than most places. I wasn't sure how sold I was. And the last place was in downtown. I loved the building. I couldn't really see any of the amenities because they were still being built. Felt like that was the closest to what felt like home, where I walked into the unit and I had a similar feeling to when I was in Chicago or when I was in Miami and I lived there, where I just felt like that would be my home. I think I looked at, it was either a convertible or an urban one bed or a small one bed, and that was the unit I liked the most. The finishes were pretty good. I liked the wood. It had a bit of a warmness to it. But even the difference between downtown and like the 2 or 3 blocks it takes to walk to Little Italy, and it's just not horribly built up. It's not like the same as downtown in other cities. So I felt like it was hard to make the decision. So I liked the area of the unit in Little Italy better, but I liked the unit in downtown better. That was everything I looked at in San Diego. So you'll find out soon where I ended up picking. And for just a little hint, I'm actually sitting in my new place now. I'm a few weeks behind on videos, so I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.